And so it's a very important thing that I'm going to talk about, this technology and what it does. They were showing a video on this on mice that have this too much of this zombie cell activity in the body. And we get that from aging. Starts in the 20s and it starts to accumulate. And when we get that, then we've got this accumulation of it that disturbs the body. So a lot of things happen. A lot of they're talking towards Alzheimer's, talking towards, we hear these testimonies of people getting benefit. Really what it's doing, guys, is getting rid of the zombie cell activity through opening up the blood and giving it to the blood so the immune system can heighten and then clear the system of the excess zombie cell. And that's why you see these testimonies on what this unique AI selective molecules of plants can do. When we're talking about iRevive, it's talking about putting this on the skin, and they were showing a video of this, and this guy was talking, he was a commentator, and he was talking about, he said, so what am I holding in my hand, this science team? And they said, well, it's skin cells that we shaved off. And she said, the age of the skin and the wrinkles of the skin are dependent on how many zombie cells are in the skin. And this cream can help get rid of the zombie cell. That's why when you touch the texture of the skin after you've used this product, the nutrition fed to the skin in the exact way of these molecules, these laser-focused AI selected molecules, you can feel the difference in the texture of the skin hours and hours and hours afterwards, because it is getting rid of the zombie cell activity, these cells that just hang there. They don't die and they don't replicate, and then they infect other cells. That's why they're called zombies. And to me, this is very important information needs to come out. Mayo Clinic is doing studies on how zombie cells if they get rid of zombie cells, they can get rid of diabetes. If they get rid of zombie cells, they can stop the Alzheimer's. This is a huge, huge Mayo Clinic topic that has been investigated, I guess, since 2019. And now they just learned, I want to interject this because this is important stuff to me. In 2023, October, this was just a few months ago, they learned that a donor for a heart transplant, they didn't take it over a certain age. For the last 50 years, they wouldn't take it over the age of, I think, 55, if you were going to be a donor for a heart transplant. You know what they judge it by now? They're beginning to understand that if you do not have that many zombie cells, it does not matter the age of the heart. Wow. They can take a 55, 65-year-old heart with less zombie cells and put it in as a transplant heart, and it will last longer than a 35-year-old heart that has too many zombie cells. This is a huge, huge thing. So when we're talking about the skin, talking about how it goes in, you put it on the epidermis layer of the skin, that's the outside layer, and then the blood runs to that area to pick up from the hypodermic where the blood is running through the skin, and then you got the dermis in the middle. It runs there to pick up the nutrition factor to bring it to the blood to be used. And that is a huge thing. And no other cream does that. I always talk about the story about the pop stars trio that sang in the 70s. And one of their wives cut the tip of her finger off. I mean, she just sliced it completely off. It regrew the entire end of the finger, the DNA, the nail, and all in about 2 months. There is not another cream on the planet of this AI selected molecules of these plants that will do that. It's laser focused nutrition, functional, unique nutrition that we have. And all I can say is it's a breakthrough in this zombie cell activity and how it hinders our body and can cause early death, problems, degenerative pains and aches in the body. I was looking at Josh's deal about, he sent me what the zombie cells can do. If you see the symptoms of zombie cell, you will see all of this stuff that people are suffering from. If we have a way to get rid of zombie cell activity in the body and on the skin, the largest organ, we can change the world. Just change the world. And what I can say about how can I prove that these molecules, the select AI molecules, are doing what we're talking about? Do you know there's an article that talks about, and some of you know this, some of you don't, but we did a test in 2015 at a lab with a blood test that showed reversal of the biological age. And I'm going to tell you what that amounts to. There is an article talking about how zombie cells affect the shorter telomeres at the end of the DNA strand. It brings the telomeres to a shorter version. So that means what? Your
Shorter
life
life.
is shorter life and problems. If we can help this situation of eliminating these zombie cells, how do I know that's true, that it's already done it, that this product, this technology will do that? How do I know this? Because we have reversal of biological age by up to almost 30 years that no one else can touch, with blood work proof to show it. And I didn't connect the dots until recently. Guys, do you understand that is getting rid of the zombie cells, or that is not possible? It's not possible to do that much reversal through what the blood understands. All we do is feed it to the body, and the blood picks it up. It heightens the immune system response and get rid of the excess zombie cell. You know, you need a few zombie cells to make sure that bad cells don't replicate. But when they excess and radiation exceeds, the radiation causes excess. Let me ask you this. With one cell phone, you don't get that much radiation. But anytime you walk anywhere, I'm in a hotel right now, how much Wi-Fi and how many cell phones are in this hotel? How much microwave radiation do you think is coming to my body anytime I go anywhere to eat, anytime I go to the gas station, anytime I walk in a store, anytime I go to church? How much radiation am I exposed to? And the radiation causes excess zombie cells. I mean, unless you're going to throw your phone away tomorrow, and nobody's going to do it. And I'll tell you another contributing factor, poison. And we got it in the food. And I'll tell you the big component that I can say, bottled water. It has risen in drinking from bottles of water by 1,000-fold in the last 20 years. 20 years ago, it was not that big. Today, it's everywhere. That's what people drink from. You don't believe there's plastic poisoning? Leave the bottle of water in the car during the summer. Come back in the evening, open the deal, and all you'll taste is plastic. So you can taste it then, but is it leaching into the water? Absolutely. Are people drinking it? You bet they are. So we have two factors that are causing this stuff, and it comes out in the organs, in the heart, in the brain, in the lungs, in the liver, in the pancreas, in all of it. All throughout your body, you're getting your accumulation of these things. And guess what the largest organ is? The skin.
The skin.
So how are you going to get away from these zombie cells that accumulate because of the phone and the bottled water? You are not going to get away from the food, and you're not going to get away from the cell phone. So we have a way to do that. And the best of all is we have a way to create an income online when these jobs start disappearing, when AI takes over these jobs. I'm just saying, you know, whenever the fast food chains pick up these things that make hamburgers and different things, they're no longer going to have to pay unemployment tax. They're no longer going to have to pay for what? Sick time, vacations, matching the Social Security with withholding. Think about that, and think about this technology for the skin and for the inside of the body. And then you want it to protect from the radiation, use the frequency patches. It protects the body from this cell phone microwave radiation. So we've got really a trio of information. And this iRevive, there's nothing like it. You're not going to find it on the market. There isn't anything to be found like it. So it's going to be, I just see this as a real breakthrough in what we're talking about. And zombie cells cause problems. And
I am so glad you brought that up. I mean, that is a great way to simplify what's going on. I've talked to probably 20, 30 people and said zombie cells. And one person said, oh yeah, they're senescent cells. Everybody else went, what?
No, it's true. It is true. And we have a true way to simplify this. You know, when I talk about the cream, I say you put it on the skin. They've proven already the more zombie cells you have, the older the skin looks, the crepier the skin looks, the more wrinkled the skin looks. And if you continue to use it, it diminishes the amount of zombie cells.
I
and
have
that
to
is
say
the way
something about you. A year ago, you looked a lot older than you do today. And I know that you said it when you first got started with this, oh, you were using it as like a shave cream. But I can tell you're using it all over your face now.
I am
and
using
your skin looks beautiful, and you're reversing in biological age and issues right in front of our eyes. just like I am in front of my friend's
You look
eye.
really good, Carrie. You really do. You really look good. It's good.
I
You know,
feel
and I've seen, I've done this with you for years, but I can say this. If a person were to use the spray every day, 4 sprays, and load the system in the beginning, because remember, we got an accumulation of zombie cells that have never had a heightened immune system from these select AI selected molecules. So yes, we need to load the system. We need to put the iRevive on the skin, and we need to give this radiation protection in the different categories for the eye patch. So it's a tremendous opportunity to create an income by helping people with a unique opportunity to get in front of this zombie cell wave. There are senolytic drugs that they're working on, and they showed 2 mice. I told you that, and they injected one with senolytic drugs that get rid of zombie cells. The problem is the mouse died. They don't have a way to give it to you to kill the cells without killing you. So they're still working on that. And while they do, we're going to offer a safe way to do this through plants and nature and God's design. That is going to be a phenomenal thing because there's no side effects. There's no chance of dying from it. There's no chance of any ill side effect or interactions with medications. It's just a way to create what I call this zombie cell information that is now becoming part. And guys, what I think is the most important thing is it's backed up by Mayo Clinic studies. It's not just me talking. It's not just you talking. It has Mayo Clinic stuff backing it up. It's a tremendous thing. You know what I tell people is whenever I tell them about this, I just tell them, have you heard of zombie cells? And they look at me and they're thinking, this guy's, I don't know, this guy's making this stuff up as he goes.
It's their attention.
Well, then I pull up Google Care and I say, see zombie cell. They read it and they say, wait a minute. You mean it leads to inflammation and maybe tumor growth, and it starts in your 20s, so everybody needs to be wiping this out. They're just shocked. They don't know what to say. And I think it's just a great way to bring people to this information and ask them, 1 in 2 now, and in 10 years, 15 years ago, 1 in 2, and you see this in the skin too. It's on the rise. Cancer of the skin, cancer of different organs, cancer of the brain, cancer of different things. 1 in 2 now will develop cancer because of the things I'm talking about. Our food has gotten worse. The radiation from the cell phones, everybody's carrying them all day long. They're exposed to all hundreds of these things with microwave radiation that's coming into the body. And then we've got plastic poisoning from these energy drinks, who knows, the processed food stuff. So yes, cancer's on the rise. 1 in 2 will develop cancer in their lifetime. I got a question. Wait a minute, Kara, that's me or you? Is what I tell people. For me, I'm going to go in the direction of this technology to remove these zombie cells that lead to this kind of stuff. And if you don't,
it's not me either, Jim.
Hey,
not me either.
I'm on the me side, and I ask people, so that means me or you. I mean, if you want to take the chance on the you in the equation, I guess that's up to you. And now I've got a topic of conversation to show them how they can make money online by helping and contributing to other people's lives, and this unique technology, functional, unique nutrition that makes this thing fun in eradicating a problem that they're developing and knowing more about through these clinical studies in Mayo Clinic. Not just anywhere, a huge clinic that really goes through research and investigation. So I think it's an opportunity to make a difference in your life, in the people's lives, in everything. With this iRevive, you cannot beat this. And I know Sue Stadley always talks about this, but she's talking about, she has tried everything as an esthetician for 52 years, all the different skin care, all the different skin creams. She only needs one thing, iRevive. And the reason she does is because the skin's not going to get better until you remove these zombie cells, and you're going to incur them every single day. No one's going to get away from the accumulation of zombie cells because of cell phones, bottled water, the food supply, our environment. You're not going to get away from it. And it needs to be removed or at least kept at bay every single day. That's why we use this stuff every day. Protect yourself with the eye patch from these microwave radiation every day. So that, I know this was a deep dive into the iRevive, but guys, I just gave it to you. See, now it's simplified. I don't need to talk that long. We're talking about zombie cells that ruin your life based on the skin and the inner body and these and the patches that protect you from it. And that's as simple as it gets. Now we just tell the world, create an income and change the world one person at a time. That's the way I see this. Now that this has come on the scene for the information that I just gave you, it's very simple to understand. Put them on lynlive.com, let them see the information, and guess what? Answer their questions and ask them, do they want to be the me or the you in that equation? Me, I'm going to protect me and my family with this stuff for the outside, for the skin, to regenerate the skin and help eradicate the zombie cells on a daily basis. I'm going to use iHeRQles for the inside. I'm going to use my category, the eye patch, for protection away from these radiation waves that are coming through these cell phones and the Wi-Fi and the 5G and all the towers and stuff. I'm in a hotel right now, and I can tell you something. They have 5G here, and they have Wi-Fi, and they got a tremendous amount of cell phones. I mean, there's hundreds of cell phones in this place. How much radiation do you think I'm incurring for the skin and for the body and for the inside? And guys, that's creating zombie cells.
And what about people that live in these huge condos like New York City?
Oh,
I mean, geez.
It's unbelievable. I mean, when you go out to eat, look around you and see how many cell phones there are. How much radiation? I mean, how much radiation is that? It's a tremendous amount. And all I can say is that creates zombie cell activity. So if you're not using this product line that we've proven through that reverse age blood test we did that shows, and all guys, that reversal of biological age, why is the reason that happened? We know it's reduction of inflammation, but if you read there, the way you reduce inflammation is to get rid of the excess zombie cells. Now it all makes sense. Now we can simplify this and move forward. And I can just say this is going to be a monster, because when we introduce people with third-party evidence and you can show them that it's true on Google, and I always say that if you want to sell a movie, make it with zombies, and this country will eat it up. Anything with zombies, okay? And I can say this, it's a very cheap topic. It's a very in the know, it's very current. It's something people want to hear. It's intriguing. It's got mystery, and we have the product line to help you get past it. It's a tremendous thing if you grab a hold of this and start telling people this instead of trying to explain the microcirculation system and the mitochondria and how the blood picks it up. We don't need to do that. We need to show them zombie cells and say it's AI selected molecules that they worked on 50 years, and AI is coming. If it can make cars fly and it can make robots make hamburgers, it can help us in the nutrition field to have a better advantage against these zombie cells, and by getting rid of them for the skin and for the inside. And the income you can create as we get into this, you realize some of this data is coming from 4 months ago with Mayo Clinic. It's new, it's exciting, it's mysterious, it's got intrigue, has a very good hook for people to understand and to change their lives. And the income potential from something that big with this timing, you cannot match.
Unmatched, absolutely. Okay, so I have one more question.
Okay, here's the question. Yes.
Okay, Josh asked me to ask you this. He said, what do you do with iRevive, you and your wife, when you go to Mexico?
Okay, I'll tell you what I do, because I've said this before. This is the absolute best probiotic on the planet. I take a capsule of whatever it has in it, dump the capsule out, and put a little into the knifeful of the cream inside the capsule, and I swallow 2 of them like that, and it takes care of anything with my stomach, anything with the digestive tract, the colon, anything. That is the absolute best probiotic, and I'll tell you why. What is it doing inside the intestinal tract? 90% of the immune system is in the intestinal tract. If I feed this to the intestinal tract, tell me, am I eradicating the zombie cells that are accumulating in the intestinal tract? You know they're in there. They call it good and bad bacteria, but the zombie cells are in there. If I get rid of zombie cells in my intestinal tract, how much better would my life be? And that's why we take them everywhere we go, so that because my stomach doesn't do well whenever I go like out of the country. So guess what? I put it down. I do it for the first 2 days. I don't have any problem with the transition. It's a tremendous benefit to have that as a probiotic if you want to do that. All I know is if your stomach's upset and you do that, it can help a tremendous amount with what you're trying to achieve.
There's other things that you can do. By the way, everybody in the chat is going, and we need a bigger jar of it then. Yes, we do. I would like one about this big that I could just slather all over my whole body, or just be able to lay in a tub full of it and just let it soak in. Could we please accommodate us?
To bathe in it now,
Yeah.
but this way you have a putting it on your hands care. Show me again how you do this.
All right. I take the container. I put my fingernail, wait here, in there. I usually do it on the, so there's just the size of a split pea on the end of my fingernail. I take that and I rub it on my fingers so that my fingers are glossy. And then
you spread it all over your face.
Yeah, and rub up, not down.
Oh, man, this is much better. That's so simple. And the back of the hands can be done, and the arm and everything. I get it.
It's the best way.
That is the absolute best way to do that.
And then whenever, like when I'm done with my face, see what I'm doing right now is I'm rubbing it into my fingernails.
Yeah.
Ask Susan. I mean, look at, I don't know if you can see that. I have fingernails. Never in my life have I had nice, long, hard fingernails. Now I do.
Well, I mean, and I'm going to tell you what the difference is. Zombie cells were blocking the DNA to make the difference, Care. I mean, everything goes back to the zombie cell for the skin, for the inside, for this leading up to 1 and 2 gets cancer in their lifetime. And anything I say, you know what I do? I go to Google and say, what's the rate, 1 in what ratio develop cancer in a lifetime? You know what they say on there? 1 and 2. Guys, that's me or you. I'm the me in the equation because I'm going to do everything I can through this technology to help my body and my family's body for that and the skin. And guess what? If you don't want to be the you in that equation, then you might want to pay attention. Go to lynlive.com and learn about how you can get started on a better way of quality of life away from these zombie cells that they don't have a way to get rid of right now. The world does not have it. They're working on these drugs to do it. The problem is the mice die when they feed them. So they're not there yet.
That's the difference between drugs and new extracts. I've always said, who would take drugs or supplements if you can spray plants under your tongue and reverse everything? And it's the same thing with iRevive. By the way, when my dog was licking his paws a lot, and they were red and inflamed, and I put iRevive on him, and it's gone. But everything that I've gotten from the vet, I'm afraid to have him lick off. I'm not afraid to have him lick this. This is food,
Yes, it is. I mean, those are plants, but it's laser. Here's the difference in what this tech. Let's just talk a minute about this because I really think it needs to be spelled out. We have been on a track of nutrition and vitamins and supplements for 70, 75 years. And my problem,
people would be better by now.
The stats would be better than 1 in 2 that get cancer in a lifetime instead of 1 in 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So is that avenue working? And I'll tell you what the problem is. I'll tell you exactly what the problem is. When you take molecules AI selected, that means supercomputer data information for 50 years, and the computer selects the best molecules from the plant. So it's exact. It isn't tired. It doesn't have a divorce on its mind. It doesn't have it's sick on its mind. It doesn't have I need to go eat on its mind. It just exactly identifies the right molecules from these plants to put in the body. So that's what the difference is. And now you get every molecule contains the minerals, the vitamins, the antioxidant. And people say, how is that little bit going to make a difference in the spray or in the cream? How is that little bitty bit? Well, let me ask you something. If you've ever had an IV where they knock you out for surgery or for childbirth, whatever, and they tell you to count backwards from 10, how far do you make it? Maybe 8, 7? And you know what? The truth is, how much does it take through that IV to make the difference? Very small amount. So when we deliver it to the blood, it takes very small amounts. That's the reason this can work. Where opposed to this way we've been on, whether it's from the natural source or not, the vitamins, protein shakes, whatever. When you pull the vitamins away from nature, I've got these molecules intact that contain every bit of the antioxidant value, the vitamin value, the mineral value designed by nature to enter the body through the bloodstream. It's intact. It's already nature intact. We haven't disrupted the intact deal of every molecule. But guys, if I extract the vitamins away from it, isn't that it already kind of in synthetic process and to begin with? Because I have extracted this man thing of extracting it. Does the body really even understand what to do with that if you pull it away from nature?
And then they mix it with so many other things as well that
even if they don't care, I have extracted away from nature. It no longer is intact as a molecule containing everything. I've extracted the vitamin content away, and that is no longer nature. It is no longer nature. This is the argument I've had with Mr. Seed for years. He says they're wasting their time with that stuff. You've pulled it away from nature. It doesn't fit the body exact like plants do with our body. And so you're not doing that much good. And guess what he has as evidence of proof? We are not getting better statistics the last 70 years. They're getting worse. Yeah. So is that avenue working? No, it is not working. It's time for a change. It's time to wake up and understand that nature is better than any kind of extraction where you pull it apart.
And we have it. This is it. This is what we need. This is it. This is all we need.
Yes, it is. You know, and I'm going to tell you something about the eye patch. If you want to protect yourself against what I said, unless you're going to throw your cell phone away tomorrow, if you want to protect yourself against these massive radiation microwave towers, Wi-Fi, 5G, and everybody has a cell phone, it's everywhere around you. Put on this aura of protection in the different categories the eye patch has, and now you're talking about really changing the me in the equation of me or you, because there's 4 things that cause cancer and all these different degenerative things: radiation, poison, virus, and infection. And guys, if you have a heightened immune system from using this product and protecting yourself with the eye patch, you have done all you can do to be the me in the equation instead of becoming the you. And you don't want to be the you, I promise. So it's a chance to change lives one at a time. And this thing, let me tell you how simple this can be. Drive them to lynlive.com. Let them watch the information and get them started with the insight and let them understand about iRevive and the eye patch, depending on what they want to do. Start them on the iHeRQles, 4 sprays 3 times a day for the first 4 months to get the body conditioned through the blood, through the red blood cells specifically, to build it up so you can heighten the immune system response to clear the body of the zombie cells that they're incurring every day from the cell phone, from the food supply, from the things I mentioned. And now all you do is 4 sprays after that. Why? Unless you're going to quit using your cell phone, you're going to incur zombie cell activity every single day from radiation exposure. This is why we do it every day for the rest of our life. Are you going to use your cell phone the rest of your life? Well, then you're going to need to get rid of the excess zombie cell activity the rest of your life. And that's
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a patch called energetic chatter. That's the one that's the really serious getting rid of
the electronic chatter protection. Yes.
But every one of the patches have frequencies that ground EMFs and 5G. So do we need to do both?
No. The reason the electronic chatter protection patch was designed, the eye patch, is that if you don't have a particular category, I don't know what I need. I don't really need the energy. I don't really need the pain inflammation. I don't know about the sleepies. I don't know which category I fit. Well, then get the electronic chatter protection to protect yourself from the weight. Yes. I mean, so that is a patch that they can do if they just can't decide. I really don't have stress anxiety, which I can't believe. I mean, if you got kids, grandkids, mothers, dads, grandmothers, whatever, and the traffic, you have stress. You just don't know it. And guess what? Wait a minute. I want to make this point. You know, one of the biggest there's a big contributing factor to zombie cells. You know what it is? Stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
It causes depression. Guess what? There was a study by Mayo Clinic on this is a big one. Guess what? If the zombie cell is left alone and you don't do something about it, it leads to neurological problems. You ever heard of Alzheimer's dementia? And it's on the rise, guys. You know why? The zombie cell is on the rise. Need to try to do something about it. We have the way to do it. Just saying.
Just saying. I love it. It's perfect.